Literally, as I came in to speak with you folks today, the President is on television late in Washington, D.C., saying the confrontation and the conflict in Washington puts us on the verge of shutting down the national government. All across the country, there's animosity and accusations and confrontation of every kind, an inability to reach an agreement. That's not Hawaii. I'm very pleased to announce that we've reached an agreement with the Hawai'i Government Employees Association. It's going forward to their members on a ratification basis right now. We do things differently in Hawaii. I said when I ran that I would try and reach out to people, pull us all together, deal with the issue. So we decided to, instead of clashing, to come together, put the problem in front of us and try and resolve it, and I believe we have. Everyone in the state, public employees or private sector, are friends, their neighbors, their family. We're all taxpayers and we're all in Hawaii together, and if we work together we can come through this.
Which mayor signed off on this agreement, Governor?
I haven't gotten it formally from everybody, but my understanding is that the mayors of Maui, of the Big Island and Hawaii have signed off. I spoke with Mayor Arakawa. I'm not certain of where his signature is, and Mayor Carlisle still had some reservations about it. But as you, I'm sure, are all aware, this is done by the state, and my responsibility as governor, of course, is to conduct these negotiations.
How does this ultimate agreement differ from what your proposal was? Were you asking for more? What were you asking for?
Well, I wasn't a question of asking for more or for less. The only question before us was, how could we put this together with a budget proposal that made sense with everybody contributing something? Public employees have already found themselves in a situation of furloughs and cuts from base pay, and they knew that they were going to be asked yet once again to step up, and they have. That's one of the things I want to emphasize to everybody, is that the public employees are trying to set the standard by saying, look, we understand we're all in this. We're going to do our share. I think it can be said that they have been doing their share and continue to do so. They're asking everybody else to do it. I think it's a little unfortunate when I hear some of the testimony at some of the hearings right now where everybody's saying, well, yes, it's going to be a little inconvenient for me, it's going to be a little tough for me, take it from someone else, make somebody else do it. We have to all do this together. And I think the public employees in this instance, the Hawai'i Government Employees Association has said, we understand, it's tough, but it needs to be done, and we're going to do it, and we hope everybody else joins in with us.
So you're hoping this sets the tone for future labor negotiations?
Yes, I think this does set the tone. Again, I point out the government in Washington is on the verge of shutting down. There are confrontations taking place all across the country, divisions in communities, families breaking up with one another over who's at fault and who isn't. We're not doing that in Hawaii. We're going to come together. I think this agreement, this approach to getting the agreement, there's no animosity, there's no public battles, there's no accusations, there's no finger pointing, there's no demands that you give something that someone, in order for me to win, somebody else has to lose. That's not the way I went about this. That's not the way the union representatives went about it. Instead, we put the challenge in front of us, and we confronted it together, and we've come up with an agreement, I think, that sets a standard for civility and for an approach that the rest of the country could well emulate, and especially in Washington, D.C. tonight.
And the public will be interested, right? I mean, whether they care about public workers or not, because the furloughs are going away. I mean, can you talk about the
see, the whole point of this is that the public employee negotiators for the HGEA said, our basic premise is we want to deliver core services to people. We don't want to have dengue fever coming up because we've laid off or furloughed vector control people. We don't want the coffee crops across the state to be destroyed because we don't have the agricultural inspectors. We don't want our children falling behind, unable to take their SAT exams because we have to somehow make up for days that they couldn't get instruction. They were willing to set the standard for saying, no matter how tough it is, no matter what we have to do, we're going to step up, we're going to deliver services, we're going to see to it that we come to a conclusion that sets a tone in the state for resolving the issues of not only collective bargaining, but what we need to do for seeing to it that the budget is balanced. So I think this approach is something that I hope we can take to the other unions, get that resolved, go to the legislature, pass the budget that we proposed, and see to it that we make our comeback.
How confident are you that the members are actually going to ratify this agreement?
I'm confident that we can say to them, in all honesty, that we confronted the situation, that we looked to be able to deliver core services, that we respected the sacrifices that have been made, and that we're in turn confident that if we stick together on this, work together on this, get everyone else to buy in, to put their skin in the game, to make their contribution, just as public employees are now with the HGEA, that we'll be able to come out of this together.
Do you think, I know there are people who know about the terms of this and they feel like this is letting them off too easily, especially with the administrative leave of 6 hours a month for every single employee. I mean, that's virtually giving them their own floating furlough day whenever they want it. Well, is that really enough?
Well, the question is can we resolve the issue of a balanced budget and everybody doing their share to see that it gets balanced without setting up a contest between one group over another or with another as to who gave up more or how can I compare myself to you. When it becomes a war of each against all, everybody loses. What we're trying to say is that this is a fair and equitable way to keep people working, to get the core services out there, and to form a foundation and a benchmark that everybody else can measure themselves against, that they can conclude it's fair. It may be tough for us, it may be difficult for us, we're going to have to tighten our belts, but everybody needs to join in.